Welcome to the Girl Means Business podcast. I'm Kendra Swalls, a former teacher turned entrepreneur and mom of two. As women, we are so much more than just one thing. We're wives, moms, entrepreneurs, side hustlers, and dreamers with goals and ambition. On this podcast, we'll talk about everything from juggling family, work, and fun to making your dreams a reality through simple, effective marketing strategies, all designed specifically for the busy mom who doesn't have a lot of extra time. So whether you're just getting started or already have an established business, there's something here for you. If you're ready to take on the challenge of becoming your own boss and making your dreams a reality, then let's get started because this girl means business. Hey there, and welcome back to another episode of the Girl Means Business podcast. This is episode 216. Now, I don't know where in the world it is that you are listening to this episode from, but I live in Texas, and here in Texas, we do not really get to experience all four seasons in the year, and if we do, they're very short-lived because winter and summer are pretty much the two main seasons, and we have a little bit of spring and a little bit of fall. So here it is already mid-May, and we are in full-on like summer heat mode. Last night, I went out to do a photo shoot for a client, and I got in my car at the end of the session, just drenched in sweat, feeling gross and sticky. It's humid out. It's just not my favorite part of living in Texas. That is why we have a pool. That's the only way to survive the summer. But that is not the point here. That is not the point of this episode. It's not how to survive the heat of the summer. We're going to be talking today about how to survive and how to get your business ready for summer if you have kids staying home with you, or maybe if it's just a more relaxed season for your business and you want to take some time off to travel or spend time with family and friends or go on exciting trips. Either way, usually summer kind of coincides with this feeling of a little bit more relaxed mode in our lives, which translates to a more relaxed schedule in our business. But we all know that in order to continue to grow our business, if you've listened to last week's episode, you know that consistency is key, and we have to continually be working on our business if we want our business to really be there and be where we want it to be in the fall when the kids go back to school and things go back to a normal routine. So how can we ensure that our business runs smoothly throughout the summer, even if we aren't spending the exact same amount of time or effort or energy on our business? So today in this episode, I have 4 things that we can be doing right now before the kids are out of school, before the summer slowdown hits. What can we put in place right now so that we can make sure our business continues to run smoothly throughout the summer? So let's go ahead and just dive into the first one. So number 1 is to automate things in your business. And that might feel a little bit intimidating or scary, but it is one of the best decisions for your business because you can set up workflows and things that are running in the background of your business while you're focusing on other things throughout the season or throughout the year. Really, automations are not just a let me set this for the summer thing. They are a full-time, full year-round thing in my business. So let me give you an example of how I use this in my business year-round, but especially in the summer months when I am not always like at my desk during the day working, or I'm not always on my phone. So for me and my photography business, client inquiries are a big thing because I want to make sure that I am able to respond when I get new inquiries from a client coming in, because a lot of times they're not just inquiring with me. And so if I can be in their inbox pretty quickly after they inquire, there's a higher chance that they're actually going to book a session with me. Same thing goes with coaching clients, really with anybody. We all want that instant gratification. However, I don't want to be on my phone 24/7, especially if I'm traveling on vacations or if my kids are home and we're having a water park day or whatever. So how can I ensure that my clients are getting the information that they need without me having to be on 24/7? Well, it's with automations and client workflows. So the way that I do this is I use my client management system, Honeybook. And if you don't have a client management system in place, whether it's Honeybook or Dubsado, I want you to try one out. And I will link to Honeybook down in the show notes. You can try it, I believe, for 14 days for free. And then If you use the link in the show notes, you can get 35% off the first 2 years that you have it. It is the one investment in my business that when I start paring down things in my business, it does not go away, because then my whole entire workflow would go away. But the beauty of these client management systems is you can create a client workflow that automatically runs in your business. So when a client inquires with me, they fill out my contact form on my email, on my website. It comes into my Honeybook account. They have checked a little box on that contact form asking what type of session they're interested in. So if they tell me they're interested in a branding session for their small business, it triggers this automation that I have created. Now, this does take a little bit of work up front to set up, but it is 1000% worth the afternoon you take to set this up in your business. So let's say Laura has sent me an email through my contact from my website. She has checked the box for branding session. So now it triggers this thing in Honeybook when it comes in, and it says, okay, here's Laura. She's interested in a branding session. Here is, any information that she's other form fields that she has completed on that form. It takes that information and it populates it into this welcome email. So she's going to get this templated welcome email, and it's going to say, hey, Laura, thank you so much for reaching out to me. I am really excited for you to, schedule a branding session. I can't remember exactly how it's worded. Hang on. I'm actually going to go find it so I can read the actual email to you and you can hear how it sounds. Okay, so I've got the email pulled up. Now the subject line reads, your branding session info inside. So that way it's already kind of making them feel like it's their information, not just generic. And then it says, hey, Laura. So it populates in the person's name. Thank you so much for reaching out. I would love to set up a branding session with you. Having great photos for your website and social media is a huge part of your business, and I'm excited to help you get all the shots you need to market your business online. Here is the link to the branding guide with full pricing information, and then there's a link they can click on. Let me know some dates and times that work for you, and we will get you scheduled. I can't wait to work with you. And then it has my signature. So that is the template email that goes out to Laura when she inquires with me within probably really 10 minutes of whenever she inquires. And so if she inquires at 2 a.m. because she's up late at night and can't stop thinking about things, and she just shoots off this email, I don't have to worry about it at 7 a.m. when I get up and start working in the morning. It's already gone out to her. And sometimes by the time I get to actually my inbox, she's already sent me dates and times and said, let me know, I want collection 2. I'm available on these dates. What do you have available? So now my system has already done a lot of the work for me. I don't have to be doing it in my business. And then from there, I can automate a ton of other things. I can automate emails that go out to her after she books, helping her prepare for her session, or asking for feedback after her session's completed. There's all of these things that can be done, and there's whole episodes I'll do on automation that I've done on automation. But the point is that you can set these things up one time and they run for you without you having to set reminders to say, oh, I need to send that email to such and such client before I forget. Or, oh, I need to send that invoice. Or they haven't signed their contract yet. It does all of these follow-ups and reminders for you so that you don't have to do that. You can also set up automations for things like your email marketing. So you can set up automations when someone joins your email list. They automatically get a series of emails so that you don't have to worry about it. You can set up automations for payments and invoices and contract. There's so many things you can set up. And one of the things that people, I think, have a fear around is that by automating things in their business, it takes the personal touch out of it. But I would say that it is really, really safe to bet that 99.99% of my clients that have ever received an automated message from me had no clue it was automated, had zero clue it was automated. And even if they did think it was automated, they didn't care. It did not faze them one bit. So if Laura is sending me a message at 2 a.m. and 5 minutes later she gets a response from me, she probably knows I'm not responding to her at 2 a.m., but she appreciates the fact that I have systems in place that are going to be communicating with her even if I'm not available at that moment. So I want you to erase this idea that you have to be hands-on doing everything in your business. There's a reason that all of these systems and automations exist, because business owners need them in order to accomplish all the things that they need to accomplish without feeling overwhelmed and burned out, especially if you don't have a team in place that can do those things for you. This is the next best thing to having a team of human people that are doing these things for you. But as small business owners, we don't always have that ability or that luxury to hire a team. So the next best thing is having these workflows and automations in place. And if you've been thinking about it, or you're listening to this episode and you're like, yeah, this is what I need. Like, I want a little bit more time back in my day, and this is going to help me get that sanity and that time. Don't think that this is like I'm just going to do it for the summer. This needs to be something that you set up now, let it run through the summer, make changes as needed as you go through the process. It's not going to be perfect the first time you set it up, and then let it run in your business from here on out. I think you're going to be extremely happy with the way this can help you free up time and energy in your brain and your business, so that you're not constantly thinking like, oh my gosh, what else do I need to be doing for this client? It's kind of doing those things for you. Okay, let's move on to number 2, which is to plan and schedule your content in advance. So this is similar to automation, because you're kind of using these automated systems to push your content out for you. But the beauty of this is that you can then kind of relax a little bit, knowing that your content is still being pushed out on whatever format or platforms you need it to, while you are sitting by the pool or on vacation with your family or doing something fun with your kids this summer. You're not having to stress and be like, oh, hold on, mom can't go do that because she's got to create this Instagram post. You get to just kind of let it run behind the scenes. And so there are 2 tools that I use for this. The first one is just simply Flowdesk. Actually, I'm going to take that back. There's 3 tools. So Flowdesk is where I schedule all of my emails. And so my goal is to have my emails and my podcast episodes and most of my social media content for the summer all planned out and scheduled and ready to go before my kids get out of school. And the reason I'm doing that is so that, again, like I said, I can let those things go out into the world and I can keep my consistency up. I don't have to worry about like, oh my gosh, we're on vacation. I forgot to post this thing, or I forgot to publish this episode. I can just relax and go on vacation, or sit by the pool with my kids, or go out and have a fun day together without having to worry about, did I post that thing to Instagram, or did my podcast go out, or did that email get published? So my email provider is Flowdesk, and they have, scheduling tool features. So you can create your email, you can schedule it for a future date, and it sends out on that date and time. They will even tell you like the best times to send based on your audience. So if they'll say like best time for the morning, afternoon, or evening, they'll even give you your analytics and let you know like what time of day are most of your people opening their emails. And so you can plan those out in advance. Same thing with Buzzsprout. So that's where I schedule all of my podcast episodes. I can upload them all. I can schedule them. I can have all of my show notes uploaded and ready to go. So again, my goal is to have all of those for the summer recorded, uploaded, and then they just every Wednesday morning, they get pushed out to the platforms to go out to live to all of you. And then the third one is a newer tool that I started using. It's called Metricool. Again, all of these will be linked down in the show notes if you want to check them out. Metricool is a social media content planner. And I've tried several content planners. I've tried Later, Hootsuite. There was one more recently that I tried that was good, but it wasn't my favorite. And then I heard about Metricool. I started seeing all these people talk about it. And it, to me, has been the best as far as not only does it allow you to post to multiple platforms, and you can edit by platform. So if I'm posting to Instagram and Facebook and Pinterest, I can take the same piece of content and I can create it and then customize it per each platform. So like on Instagram, I'm going to add certain hashtags and I'm going to have a shorter caption. Whereas on Facebook, I might have a longer caption and no hashtags. Where on Pinterest, it's all about the title. And so I can customize it and I can publish it at the times that's best for my audience per the piece of content in the platform. And it gives me tons of data as far as like what time my people are online per platform. So like if I want to know what time should I post this on Facebook versus Instagram versus Pinterest versus whatever, it's going to give me those times that are best to post. So I can post it 7 a.m. for Facebook, 10 a.m. for Instagram, and 2 p.m. for Pinterest if that's what it's telling me is the best time. And it's free. You can pay for it, of course. They have like a premium plan. I'm on the free plan and it works perfectly fine for what I need. But the point is, whatever you're using, it will allow you to schedule out your content so that, again, you can stay consistent, which if you go back to last week's episode, you know that consistency is what keeps things moving in your business and keeps you going forward. And so in order to be consistent without being on your device all the time or without being at your laptop all the time, creating content all the time, is to batch create your content in advance and then schedule it out. Now, you do not have to schedule out for like the entire summer in one sitting, but you can say like, okay, I'm going to have one day a week, maybe every Monday, I'm going to have someone come hang out with my kids, or they're going to go to this summer camp thing, or they're going to go to a friend's house and play. And this is the day that I create content for the next 2 weeks. Or I'm going to have one full day a month and I'm going to create all my content and schedule all my content for the month. And then I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the month. And then the next month I'll do that again. And then the next month I'll do it again. And again, these are things that are really helpful in the summer when you have a slower schedule, your kids are home, you're traveling, you're doing all the things, but they're also really good strategies to implement into the rest of the year. And I do this in my business throughout the rest of the year. I batch and I schedule in advance because it just gives me peace of mind. I'm not having to wake up on Monday morning and go, oh crap, I don't have my podcast episode for this week ready. It's already kind of set and done. I'm thinking 2 or 3 months in the future. And that allows me to be a little more strategic in my planning. It allows me to have a bigger picture plan for my business and what I'm doing with my content or whatever I'm scheduling out, instead of just flying by the seat of my pants, which the Enneagram 7 in me really wants to do sometimes, but I'm trying to be a little bit more strategic, and planning out my content and batching it and scheduling it allows me to do that.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
If you've been listening to the Girl Means Business podcast for any amount of time, then you know my love of email marketing runs deep. Not only is it a great way to generate new leads, but it's one of the most effective methods for nurturing warm leads and turning them into sales. Now, over the years, I've tested several email platforms, and my favorite by far is Flowdesk. Not only do they make email marketing simple and easy, even for the technically challenged, but they have everything you need to create stunning emails, capture leads, make sales, and automate the entire process, giving you time back in your busy day. And the cherry on top is you're only charged one flat fee no matter how many subscribers you have. So while other platforms will increase your price when you go over your pricing tier limit, Flowdesk has no price increases or hidden fees. If you're ready to give Flowdesk a try, click the link below in the show notes to save 50% off your first year. Let Flowdesk help you design emails people will love. Click the link below and check it out. I have a feeling you're going to love it just as much as I do. All right, let's get on to number 3, which is to create a summer schedule. Now, both of my kids are in school full-time during the school year, and so my work day during the school year is about 8 a.m. to 3 p.m.-ish most days. And so I have this really large block of time in my day where I can get things done. I can sit at my desk and work. I can go run errands. I can do whatever I need to do without having to worry about someone watching my kids. During the summer, I don't have that luxury. My kids are home with me. They're not quite to the age where I can just leave them and go do things. I can leave them alone to go work in my office. They're 7 and 11. They're self-sufficient. They're independent. But I'm not going to say hey, y'all go entertain yourselves all day while I work, and then they're on the iPad or watching TV all day. I want them to be doing things that are more, engaging. And so I create a new schedule for our summer hours. And so a lot of times it looks like we get up, we have breakfast, and then I say, okay, from 8 to 10, I'm going to get some work done. And that just basically looks like me cleaning up my inbox, answering emails, checking, make sure things are running smoothly and all the things, doing whatever I need to do, kind of the daily tasks within my business. And my kids know like 8 to 10 is kind of their time to just sort of like be lazy and maybe watch TV or kind of start their day on like a slower pace. But then once that 10 o'clock hits, then we're like, okay, now we're going to do something active, engaging. Tablets go away, devices go away, TVs go off, my laptop gets shut down, and we go do something from like 10 to about 2. And we don't have to leave the house. It may just be that we go swim, or we go for a walk, or we play a game together, or we do a craft, or we do something, but it's something where I'm giving them my time and attention. And so that way, when I say from 8 to 10, I'm working, but at 10 a.m. when I shut everything down, you have my full attention. I feel accomplished because I've already had 2 hours to get stuff done in my day. My kids know like, okay, we have these 2 hours to just kind of like start our day slowly. And then we have time together. And then maybe I say, okay, from 2 to 4, we're going to have quiet time. And this is my favorite part of our summer schedule is we have quiet time every single day pretty much. And what that time is the hottest part of the day. We're not going to be outside doing stuff. So I say, okay, everybody find something quiet to do. Again, I'm very kind of anti-tablets and phones as much as possible and TVs. And so I'm like, you can play music in your room quietly. You can draw, you can read, you can color, you can play Legos, you can do whatever it is, but we're all in separate spaces because we need our time apart. And so my girls go to their separate rooms. They have, a book to read or something to play with or a project to work on quietly. And then I can come into my office, or sometimes I go sit in my room and I read a book, and I model that behavior for them depending on what I need to get done that day. And then after those 2 hours, we're back to doing family time. My husband's coming home from work. We're having dinner. We're doing all the things. And so having this more relaxed schedule, it's not the 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. that I'm used to every day, but having these dedicated times, not only does it allow me to feel like I have time to get things done that I need to get done in my day, and I don't feel like I'm getting irritable with my kids being like, I need to get this done. Like, let me work. They respect the fact that like I still have things to do. I'm modeling that work ethic for them. But then they also know like, oh, we're going to get like this big chunk of time in the middle of the day where we get to hang out with mom, or we get to go do something fun. And obviously if we have camps or activities planned or vacations, then everything kind of goes out the window. But on a normal like summer day when we don't have anything planned, that's the basic outline of our schedule. And so creating a schedule that's more relaxed, that gives your kids the ability to understand like, this is work time, this is play time, this is quiet time, this is whatever time. And obviously, depending on what age your kids are, this is going to vary. If you have very little like toddler age kids, this isn't going to work necessarily because they don't play independently for 2 hours. But if you have older kids, you can have them do more independent activities, or you could do smaller blocks of time. If you have little kids, you could say, okay, for 20 minutes, I'm going to go do this while you play quietly here. And then after that 20 minutes is up, then we come back together. And I remember like as a teacher, we would talk a lot about, even with like my first, second graders, or like, I know teachers do this with kindergarten kids and preschool kids. We started talking about the idea of autonomy and the idea that like kids need to learn and be taught and be shown and modeled how to work and play and do things independently for periods of time. And so even if you start off with like, okay, here's 5 minutes. If you have one of those kids that's like every 2 minutes, they're at your side going, mom, 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 then start with 5 minutes and you set a little timer and you're like, okay, if you stay in this place, in this designated spot, whether it's a room or on the couch or in a spot in your office, and you play quietly until this timer goes off, then you get a sticker on your chart, or however you want to reward them. And then maybe you do that for a couple days, and then you bump it up to 8 minutes. And then it's like, okay, if you do it for 8 minutes, we'll put 2 stickers on your chart. And if you get to so many stickers, you get, a fun day out or whatever. But teaching your kids to build up this idea of they don't need your attention all the time, and you can be in the same room and you can be working and they can be playing quietly, or they could be in the next room playing quietly. It teaches them and models for them this idea that you are working and they are working. It just looks a little bit different. So That's my soapbox rant about like autonomy and teaching our kids these routines and these schedules. And I understand like this isn't going to work for every single family and every single kid. This is just what has worked for me and with my kids. All right. Now, last but not least, number 4 is give yourself some grace. It is summer. Your kids are home. You're going to be more relaxed. You want to go do fun things. You're going to have days where you wake up and you're like, you know what? I don't feel like working today. We're going to go to the water park. Or you're going to have a friend that calls and says, hey, we're going to go do this really fun, we're going to go to the zoo for the day. Do you want to come with us? And you drop everything and you go. And that's okay. Like, I don't want you to feel like that you have to lock yourself into this idea of these routines or these schedules, or you have to maintain the same work schedule that you've had throughout the school year when your kids were at school the whole time. Give yourself some grace and know that one day away from your business is not going to hurt anything. I promise you it's going to be there when you get back. If you don't respond to that email right away, it's going to be fine. You can always do it when you get home later or the next morning. If you need to be gone for longer periods of time, put an away message on your email. Let people know that you're on vacation. You'll respond at this certain time. Make it fun. Be creative with it. Have an autoresponder for things if you are going to be gone for the day. If that's going to make you feel better. I know for me, sometimes it makes me feel better to be like, at least people know I'm not ignoring them. Like they know that I'm gone for the week or whatever. But give yourself grace to enjoy this time. And I don't want to be one of those people that's like, you only get so many summers with your kids, because I think that's crap. But because I believe like they don't just disappear when they're 18 and never come home again. But I do think that like this time is really valuable. And I think that we should value this time with our kids and enjoy it and have fun with it and not feel so much pressure to do all the things or be all the things. Just have fun with your family, have fun with your business, have fun with all of it. And like, don't stress about every little detail so much. Let yourself relax a little bit, let your business relax a little bit, and know that it's all going to be just fine. So give yourself the grace to know that if it's not the way you envision it, or it's not quote unquote perfect, it's still just fine. I hope that this has given you some inspiration and ideas on how to prepare your business for the summer, not only so that you feel like your business is running, but so that you feel like you can relax and enjoy your life. Because when you started this business, you didn't start it to work 24/7. You didn't start it so that you had less time with the people that you love. You did it so that you had more time freedom and that you had more time with the people that you love. And so don't let this summer go by focusing so much on your business and not enough on the family piece. I go back to the idea that I don't believe in balance. I believe in harmony. And I think that there are times in our lives when our family is more loud, that requires more attention than our business, and vice versa. And for me, a lot of times the summer months are when my family the harmony is louder, the noise is louder of my family needing my time, and my business gets a little bit quieter. And that's completely fine, because I know in September when my kids go back to school, it's going to flip-flop back the other way around. So just give yourself grace, like strive for that harmony, not necessarily the balance of everything being equal, but the harmony of knowing that some days, some hours, some weeks, some months, certain things are going to require more attention than others, and others are going to take the back seat, and that is totally fine. Relax, enjoy your summer, and I will see you back here next week. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the conversation as much as I did. And as always, you can find any links or resources mentioned in today's show down in the show notes. And if we're not friends outside the podcast yet, then what are you waiting for? Come find me on Instagram at Girl Means Business and send me a DM letting me know what you thought of today's episode or any of the past episodes you've listened to. You can also take a screenshot of today's episode and post it to your stories, tagging at Girl Means Business, and I'll give you a shout out on my page. I love connecting with you and hearing all about your business, and can't wait to get to know you more. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will meet you back here next week, same time, same place.